episode 81. I am your host, Tyler Woltoff, and in Canada, it's Kyle Wakeling. What's up, Kyle?
Not too much. What's up with you, Tyler?
Not a whole lot. But it's not just us two here, is it?
I guess not.
Well, Liam's back for another episode, so what's up, Liam? How's the UK doing?
Hey, the UK's doing pretty good. I'm doing okay as well.
I didn't care about you, I just wanted to know about the country.
Oh well. Well, you got an update on both.
Oh, alright. I'll never get that time back. Anyways, we're the Vita Cast. We talk about the Vita. It's been a long week. I don't know if it feels like that for you guys, but it's only Tuesday, but I guess it's Wednesday, but still. It's still my Tuesday. It's just been a long flippin' day. But yeah. Let's talk about games, because games are entertaining and work is not entertaining at all. So, let's start off with what we've been playing, and I'll just jump into it because I haven't really played anything except for one game. Okay, I lied. 2 games. I platinumed Lego Jurassic World. Woo! Everyone goes crazy, right?
Congratulations.
Well done.
It was very easy. It's a Lego game, so yay! But it was a lot of fun. And I've already written my review, which I haven't posted yet, but it's pending review of itself. So look out for that soon. And the other game I've been playing a ton of is Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. I am just pushing through this game. I want to beat it, and I am nearing the end, I believe. So I'm assuming by next week I will have beaten the game and will be depressed because I won't have any Dangan to play for a couple months.
Go, Tyler, go.
Yeah, so that's literally all I've played. Danganronpa has literally sucked my whole time because after I platinumed Lego Jurassic World, I was like, Dangan the whole time. So, yeah. Kyle, what have you been up to?
Well, this has actually been a busy week for me doing other shit, and I actually haven't had a chance to play my Vita all that much.
Gasp.
So, what I did manage to play was games that were very much so surface encounters, stuff that I could just jump in and play a little bit of, and then jump out and go do other shit I had to do. So, the only 2 things that I played this week are Hot Shots Golf, which I think I beat 2 records while I was playing. So, I did pretty good, even though it was all chopped up. Working on some of those harder golf courses, just trying to get used to them so they don't come out of nowhere when Tyler randomly picks them when we play.
I'll still beat you.
Yeah, whatever, buddy. And I also played some more Tetris Ultimate. Just addicted, so that's kind of what happens. What about you, Liam? What have you played this week?
Okay, so first of all, I can start off by saying I played a game I'm not allowed to talk about just yet.
Ooh, teasers.
So it's all secrecy, but you'll hear about that soon. I also played through some of my backlog. I played some Retro City Rampage DX, which I own physical. I didn't actually realize how fun that game actually is. It's just basically a crazy Grand Theft Auto clone, but storylines just all over the place, and you end up going back to the future and all this kind of stuff. It just throws loads of 80s cliches at you, and it's a good laugh.
Yeah.
I also played some Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits, which is just Super Monkey Ball. For those of you who haven't played it, it's just basically you guide a little ball around a course which has no edges to it, so you can fall off at any point. Yeah, that's fun. It's a bit difficult at times. I also played Dead or Alive 5 Plus and got my ass handed to me online because I'm absolutely terrible at that game, although I somehow still seem to love it. And finally, I tried out Hyperdimension Neptunia Producing Perfection, which is an idol simulator, and it's the first one I've ever played, and I don't get it at all. I don't understand what is going on with this game.
It's a simulation game. You simulate being an idol.
But it appeals to loads of like Japanese cultures and stuff that I really have no knowledge in.
Huh.
No,
Well, that's
I'm
a
pretty
problem.
sure it just appeals to crazy people.
That
Hey.
too, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of games that I can find justification for. I'm pretty sure that one just appeals to crazy people.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's just very strange.
Well, if you're listening to this and you like that game, I don't think you're crazy. So send your
Well,
hate
if they're
mail
Don't
listening,
to.
don't lie to the podcast
if
audience
they're
now,
listening to the
Tyler. That's not
podcast, at least they
nice.
have some sanity.
Yeah. Well, all right. That's all you played?
Yep.
Well, let's jump into the reviews this week. Kyle, what did we review?
All right, so only one review up this week, and that's Paul's review of Super Exploding Zoo. He gave it a 3.5 out of 5, and he says, quote, "It's simple and won't last you very long, but packs a lot of charm and fun in there. Suited for those that like a slightly taxing challenge and colorful animals, or blowing them up," end quote. So, PlayStation Plus title, a lot of people probably got it for free. If you didn't pick it up, maybe you should read that review and go pick it up. Or if you don't have PlayStation Plus, might be a good idea. I don't know. Would you play this one at all, Tyler? I forget.
I have it downloaded. It's sitting there, but Dangan. Dangan. What about you, Liam?
I gave it a quick go, but I actually only tried it on the PlayStation 4. But from what I played of it, it seems like it would be a title more fitted for Vita, so I'm going to download it on my Vita and try it there.
Well, all right. So we don't really know too much about it, so definitely check out the review from Paul to get a better idea of what you're getting your hands. Or what? I'm tired. It's been a long day. You know what I was trying to say. Anyways, that's it for the reviews. Let's jump into the new releases. And unfortunately, there is nothing, but there is sales for North America, at least. So if you're from North America or you're using a North American PSN account, definitely check out some sales. Do you know the games, Kyle? Do we have a list?
It's a lot of those games that were unannounced in the sale last week. They're still up, and some of them now have PlayStation Plus discounts that weren't necessarily there. And then there's, I think, Foosball 2012 and some other weird game are on sale, and some Stealth Inc. stuff's on sale. So.
Well, all right. So there's still plenty to do, and I'm pretty sure if it's the same games from last week, then there's some awesome games in that sale so that you need to pick up. So yeah, maybe next week we'll get a game. I'm pretty sure there's a new release next week. Confident in saying that.
There is.
Yeah, I can't think
Don't
of
worry.
what it is though. But wait, isn't it Hyperdimension?
I believe Hyperdimension, J-Stars, there's a couple things.
Oh boy, busy week next week.
It's
Well,
gonna be good.
Yeah, let's jump into the news then. So, we've got a few here, so let's get right into it. First up, Axe Studios' Twitter account took to giving up some new stuff this week. I just read that terribly. Dropping details on the game's battle system and characters via these 5 consecutive tweets. Quote, "In Y2K, every character has a completely unique style of battle commands and input. No character is alike. Alex fights with a Judgment Ring, Shadow Hearts, style action input, on a revolver turntable. Vela, an avid gamer and musician, fights using a combo of arcade-style minigames and music rhythm-based attacks. Rory is a pacifist who won't attack enemies on principle, but he's no pushover. Rory will take damage for his party as well as sacrifice his own MP and HP to heal his party. He can even convince enemies to give up the fight and take it easy. Y2K is set to release sometime this winter for PlayStation Vita, and it seems to be coming along nicely." Next up, the official website for Extreme Dimensions Tag Blanc plus Neptune vs. Zombie Army launched recently, and with it some new information regarding the game's story was revealed. The plot synopsis is as follows. In a certain town and game industry, there is a certain school. This is a historic school where the goddesses that serve as the guardians of the world are trained in great numbers. However, with the low birth rate and aging population working against it, the school was on the verge of closing down. Meanwhile, Blanc and her fellow students take a stand for the school. They decided to create a super hit movie to spread the school's name around the world and increase its amount of prospective students. The theme of the movie is zombies. It was a nonchalant choice for the girls, but as if it was a direct response to the movie, zombies suddenly began appearing in the school and city. But these are not girls that flinch at such things. Instead, they think positively and use the opportunity to make an authentic zombie movie. For more information leading up to the release of Extreme Dimensions Tag, Blanc plus Neptune vs. Zombie Army, be sure to stay tuned to the Vita Lounge. Next up. Thanks to DualShockers, we have learned that Sony has applied to make a couple of minor changes to the build design of the slim model for the PlayStation Vita. According to a certification published by the FCC, the PCH 2000 series has now moved to hardware version 2.2, and the recertification is because the antenna and non-transmitter circuit changed from the original device. Hardware continually evolves over the life cycle of a system, usually with newer models of changes to reduce manufacturer costs, so this doesn't come as much of a surprise. While Sony aren't supporting the Vita with the level of software that they could, it does illustrate that this Vita is still part of their plans and is not being scrapped, giving strength to the legacy system suggestion referring to the 1000 series model. Other observations show that the LAN adapter is now manufactured by Foxconn instead of Sony, with the antenna gain for Bluetooth getting a bump from -2.1 dBi to 0.73 dBi. The headphone manufacturer getting switched to Goratech from Sony, and the USB cable supplier switched to Luxshare from Mikuni. So there you go.
Okay, next up, Pixelated Milk have put together a Kickstarter project for a promising new role-playing game with a very reachable PlayStation Vita stretch goal. Described as a Disgaea meets Persona formula with a Western twist on the classic strategy RPG genre on their Kickstarter page, Regalia of Men and Monarchs is a turn-based RPG with hand-drawn 2D backgrounds and a soundtrack produced by the talented team over at Game Audio Factory. As for the story, the Kickstarter introduces it as follows. Do you like stories about saving the world, stopping destructive meteors heading for the planet, fighting against madmen clowns, traveling back through time, obviously evil party members who turn on you as the plot comes to a bombastic conclusion, amnesiac, grumpy protagonists winning against impossible odds? Do you? Well, that's a shame, because you will find none of that in Regalia. Instead, you will get a compact and light-hearted slice of life story of a young man who was unfortunate enough to become a ruler. As he arrives to live out a personal fairy tale, it quickly becomes apparent that he won't be happily ever after. His domain lies in ruins, his forebearers have left a massive debt, and nobody's left behind to even acknowledge his claim. So you're interested, but you're wondering what you can do to get it on Vita, right? Well, they're looking at $60,000 to bring the game to PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 4. So any backing you have can give the game a push from its current $4,000 tally, which would surely help, as well as spreading the word to anybody who might be interested. Here's the details on the stretch goals we're trying to hit. At $60,000, we will bring Regalia to Sony platforms. All tiers from $25 and up will be upgraded with a free game key for a console of your choice. Note that you will still receive your PC version, so starting from $25 you will get 2 game keys instead of 1. Regalia of Mice and Men still has 15 days, of Mice and Monarchs, still has 15 days to go before its Kickstarter campaign is up. So get backing and are spreading the word, and we'll hopefully be adding this one to the coming soon list before long. Wink, wink.
Hey, Liam, that was 48,000, not 4,000. If it was 4,000, you'd be nowhere close.
My bad. Okay, next up. An E3 sizzle reel of upcoming PlayStation Vita games has seemingly confirmed suspicions that Telltale Games' Game of Thrones, Minecraft Story Mode, and Tales from the Badlands are PlayStation Vita bound. The sizzle reel, posted on PlayStation New Zealand's official YouTube channel, shows off a whole host of PlayStation Vita titles that are due to release in the coming months for our favourite handheld. But the most interesting bit comes from towards the end of the video, when we can see the images of 3 titles in amongst a whole host of other games heading to the platform. E3 is usually a bit of a downer for Vita fans, so it's nice to come across positive success story for the system once in a while. According to the thread on NeoGAF, it is reported that the Vita actually sold quite well in Spain, with around 600,000 systems sold. To put that into perspective, with other systems, the PS4 has sold 700,000 units, and that is currently outselling the Xbox One by 9-1. According to the CEO of PlayStation Spain, rather impressive performance numbers those are rather impressive performance numbers for the system. In an interview published on the website of Spanish newspaper El País, James Armstrong talked a little about the Vita's performance in Spain. The CEO of PlayStation Spain spoke with pride about some of the titles that have performed well, like the Invisible series, and he also name-checked Looney Tunes Galactic Sport, which was developed by Virtual Toys in Spain. He also mentioned that there are 2 Disney titles coming to the Vita, both of which are unconfirmed at this time. When questioned about the lack of Vita at E3, Armstrong noted that the system provides PlayStation Spain with an interesting income, and that they will continue to invest in the handheld. He states that the Vita shifts around 150,000 units per year, with the total amount at 600,000. Armstrong also speaks honestly about the mistakes made with the system and missing games for the wider audience, and that not enough is being done with pricing or promotion, all of these of which are valid points. What is your reaction to the news? It's quite refreshing to see a prominent figure showing that they are on a similar wavelength for the fans, and it's fantastic to see that at least in one region the Vita is performing well.
Alright, moving on. Have you checked out Steins Gate yet? Well, based on Charlie's recent review of the game, you really should, and you should also get even more excited because there's a new entry to the series on its way. Steins Gate Zero is a continuation of the series, which is set to release in Japan this fall, but with the first game already released in Europe and soon in North America, it's much more likely that this one will eventually follow. Founder of developers, 5PB, Chiyomaru Shikura, is named as the lead project planner of the game. Tetsuya Matsubara is named as the producer, with Ahook in charge of character design, and Take Abo is in charge of music. And for fans of the Steins Gate series in general, the game will also spawn a new drama CD for the series, as well as novels and a whole new anime series, which is awesome news indeed. For more news leading up to the release of Steins Gate Zero, make sure to stay tuned to the Vita Lounge. Next up, new details on Ryan and the other members of the idol group Spica have been revealed by 4Gamer and Siliconera. First up, we have a detailed look at Ryan Kugariyama, a 17-year-old member of the idol group quintet Spica. With devilish looks and behavior, she's often found arguing with her close friend and rival about who should take the center of Spica, but don't let her fool you, underneath all the attitude is a hard worker. Ryan is only known to show her true self when she's alone, and uses her abrasive attitude as a shield to hide behind, the accompanied sword stand-in being her voice. Moving on to her attack skills, we have the following. Basic attack. Ryan executes a basic attack by turning her body to create a shockwave. It doesn't have much range, but after hitting a few times, it finishes with a lightning attack. Shooting skill, Brilliant Ray. Ryan shoots lasers from the tips of her wings. In addition to being able to land multiple hits with this attack, you can target an enemy and shoot homing lasers too. Aerial skill, Sonic Wing. Spreading her wings, Ryan creates a shockwave from behind, launching her forward at high speed. It doesn't use much of the skill gauge, however, and it's Ryan's most honed maneuver. Heavy skill, Sylphie Cyclone. Ryan creates a giant tornado by flapping her wings, with enemies in range getting sucked into the tornado. Using it at close range makes it possible to deal massive damage, however it's notable that Ryan is left open to getting hit before launching the attack. X-Strike Seraphim Hearts. Ran's soul device expands massively, allowing her to freely move around the enemies at high speed while still attacking. Afterwards, she makes it rain down countless homing missiles from the tip of her wings, capping off what is considered to be her ultimate attack with a bang. As for the other members of Spica, the following has been revealed. Member number 2 is Haruna Tendo, a 17-year-old with neatly manicured raven black hair. Her acting ability is top-notch, and there are rumors swirling about her being a star of an upcoming commercial for a popular brand. Third is Reiki Kisaragi, a 17-year-old blonde model who enjoys card games in her off time. Tough on herself and others, she's a complete perfectionist with a strong personality and seems to be a force to be reckoned with. The penultimate member of Spica is Wakaba Yuzuki, a 15-year-old brunette with twin tails. Admirable and considerate, whenever she's doing, she gives it her all. And the last member of the quintet is Sayaka Nanase, a 15-year-old tomboy with short blue hair. Though she's a bit of a quiet one, she's known for her on-point quips. That said, her dancing is more than expressive enough to make up for any shyness perceived, as she's considered to be the group's best dancer. More on the girls of Spica and Tokyo Xanadu in general is likely to appear as we edge ever closer to the game's September 30th Japanese release date, so stay tuned to the Vita Lounge and we'll be sure to keep you informed. And moving on. More details have emerged from both Square Enix and project members regarding the newly announced World of Final Fantasy. Starting off, we take a look at the very informative Square Enix press release. Quote, World of Final Fantasy combines classic RPG gameplay mechanics with fresh and imaginative toy-like visuals. As a brand new title in the Final Fantasy franchise, the game can be enjoyed by both fans and newcomers to the series. Players will lead a pair of twins through varied Final Fantasy worlds and encounter the adorably familiar monsters therein. Capture and embrace such familiar beasts as Cactuar, Chocobo, and Behemoth to discover alternate forms and learn new abilities. One of the key features of the game is a stacking ability. The siblings can adjust their size, turning small enough to jump onto the monsters during combat, or vice versa, shrink the monsters small enough to ride on the twins. By customizing and stacking their army of monsters, players can create strategic tower combinations and take on the most challenging opponents. End quote. That's not all we learned, however, as thanks to a question and answer bit from GamesBeat with producer Hiroki Chiba, we've also learned that the game uses the Final Fantasy staple active time battle system, with a few tweaks of course. It is set in a world that represents a lot of the Final Fantasy game elements, especially pre-Final Fantasy X or 10, and features a party system comprised of only 6 active figures at a time, seemingly 2 people and 4 monsters. Director Hiroki Chiba, who is an event planner on Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy X, also spoke up, giving his 3 goals for the game. First, to provide a game that both children and adults can enjoy, to provide a new visual experience, and to provide a new game system. How all this ties together, I'm sure we'll begin to see as more media is released, but as for the game itself, World of Final Fantasy will be available sometime in 2016.
I want it now. Anyways, next up. It's official, guys. Moro Crystal has been announced for release on September 25th in Japan, and it's also been revealed that pre-orders for the game will net you a product voucher, entitling you to Nude Flash underwear for the game's 8 female characters as a bonus. Oh, yeah, that's... Well, alright. Anyways, have we got your attention yet? Of course. If so, the fact that the game will be available in a 9,504 yen limited edition, which includes a special illustration by Katsuyuki Hirano box, an art book, and a special CD featuring the voices of the game's 80 monster girls, should one only serve to further entice. Yeah. I'm not going to read that last one. That's just weird. Something about collar and anything. Anyways, next up. We recently brought news that Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel will be making its way west thanks to the talented translation team at Xseed Games, but this may only be the start of them bringing the series to our shores. In a recent blog post on their site, the team's producer-coordinator Brittany had the following to say regarding bringing the series west. Quote, "We didn't want to jump the gun on announcing Trails of Cold Steel too early, and we didn't, because the translation process started a year and a half ago. As of this writing, not only is Trails of Cold Steel fully 100% translated, we're reaching the final stages of editing as well, and will very soon be recording a whopping 10,000 voiced lines for the games. Dear Lord." End quote. In regard to localizing this game, which is one of the most recent titles in the series over an older installment, she also stated, quote, "When Falcom approached us with interest in seeing the game localized, and yes, they came to us, I naturally was all for it. But like most fans, I worried because of the two games that preceded it, Zero no Kaseki and Ao no Kaseki, because they have some events in them that seem to tie in with Cold Steel directly. Is it okay to publish the series out of order? If we do take on Cold Steel, will people be missing out on some critical information by not playing Zero and Azure first?" I was fortunate enough to be able to express this worry in person to the president of Falcom, Toshihiro Kondo. I was also just as relieved by his response. Immediately he responded, "Actually, this is kind of intentional. We wanted Cold Steel and Zero Azure to be playable in any order because we noticed that with Cold Steel, the demographic suddenly became younger. Many new fans of the series were going back to the old games." The simple answer is this: Zero and Azure started as PSP games, and by the time we would have finished both of them, the PSP will have long been dead as a viable platform. Even though we're working on Trails in the Sky SC for PSP now, all the effort going into its PSP launch is a labor of love, not profit. However, there does exist a Japanese PC port of Trails to Zero and a Chinese PC port of Trails to Azure. This means that, theoretically, we could go back to the duology any time if the series remains successful, since Trails in the Sky has found new life on PC in the West. PC love won't be falling out of fashion anytime soon. End quote. As for the current progress on Trails in the Sky FC, the long-awaited PSP entry to the series, the following information was offered. More quotes. Quote, "Yes, we are still in QA for Trails in the Sky SC for PSP, and it will be PlayStation TV and PlayStation Vita compatible, and PC. And yes, it will also be out before Cold Steel, so you will be able to thoroughly enjoy the conclusion to Estelle and Liberal's story before Cold Steel's launch." I say conclusion because while third is related to content with FC and SC, the overarching story fans were introduced to from the first game will indeed be concluded with SC. Satisfactory ending and all. Third serves as something of an intriguing offshoot from the series and stars a beloved character introduced in SC, one Kevin Graham. Rather than take on the grand scale of FC and SC, it dives even deeper into character development and series lore, with said lore dipping its fingers into every game in the series in some way, shape, or form. Needless to say, I would be thrilled to work on it and have made my opinion very much heard in the office. Ha ha! End quote. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel is set to make its way to North America sometime this fall via Xseed, with European fans relying on NIS America for word of a release on their shores. Make sure you stay tuned to the Vita Lounge for any further announcements on this series.
I love the way that you read the haha. That was great.
Okay, next up, Samurai Warriors Chronicles 3 is just a few short weeks away from release in North America and Europe, and Tecmo Koei have provided details on the game's edit mode, which allows players to design their own characters from the ground up, from facial details to weapons and armor. The official synopsis, which comes from a press release, reads as follows. Among the key features of the game is the edit mode, where the players can create their own character, being implemented from the fan-favorite version released in Samurai Warriors 4. The edit mode allows for a very deep level of customization and a vast selection of facial features, armor, weapons, and accessories. What is unique in Samurai Warriors Chronicles 3, though, is that for the first time, players will be able to equip their customized characters with the default costumes of the famous warriors they befriend. Creating and maintaining relationships with the officers and warriors is a very important part of Samurai Warriors Chronicles 3, as it allows players to listen into their thoughts and plans and affect them to their desired effect. In that way, the game takes a different turn, as the story mode is completely in the player's hands and the outcome of battles, alliances, and ultimately the conclusion of the game is altered by their actions. Samurai Warriors Chronicles 3 launches in Europe on June 24th, which is the day this podcast is being recorded, so it'll be out by the time you get to listen to this, with a North America release following shortly afterwards on June 30th. Be sure to stay tuned to the Vita Lounge for a review in the coming weeks, but in the meantime, check out a new gallery of screenshots over on the website. We're just a few short weeks from the release of Deception 4, The Nightmare Princess, and Tecmo Koei have revealed more new features to the new entry of the series. An official synopsis for the new additions to the game's Deception Studios mode has been revealed and reads as follows, quote, "The new stages. Staging plays a very important part in creating an impressive domino effect trap combos in the world of Deception. While Le Griner, the dark protagonist of Deception 4 Blood Ties, lured her victims in medieval castles, amusement parks, and ancient ruins, and a molten idol metal refinery, Valkyrie, the wicked, sadistic new character of Deception 4 The Nightmare Princess, is a lot more playful with her prey, as she has the ability to face them in a demi-plane between the dreamlands and the waking world. She can be more diverse than her adversary, and so she can also utilize 3 new stages as her hunting grounds. In the gymnasium, she uses springboards, balance beams, high-velocity ball throwers, and basketball hoops. In the playground, she forces them down slides, on merry-go-rounds, and flings them in the air using a deceptively innocent-looking panda. In the hospital, she ties them down on operating tables, electrocutes them, and plays on their fears with oversized syringes. Valkyrie uses everyday locations in a distorted and sinister manner, making them the setting of her rise to power and the source of her returning strength. Though continuously defeating her enemies and completing her quests, more of her background story will be gradually revealed to the player, leading to a dramatic finale. Deception Studio. To make things even more interesting, Koei Tecmo announced that the game will include a mode entitled Deception Studio. Therefore, the player has the opportunity to create their own characters for the Deception Princesses to defeat. Options such as appearance, weapons, and an outfit of choice, name and background music, as well as immunities, resistances, and strengths. Fulfilling certain requirements in some of the new quests can lead to an award of more edit parts that can be used for creating more unique and distinctive enemies. Flying toilet plunges, cakes in the face, black holes, acid slime, iron rakes, and cursed helmets are only a few of the more than 180 traps that players can choose from, or most elaborate combos to defeat their enemy adversaries in delightfully imaginative settings that include medieval castles, hospitals, playgrounds, and amusement parks. Deception 4 The Nightmare Princess launches on July 4th in North America and in Europe on July 17th.
Alright, in the home stretch here, guys. Last month, we brought you the news that Loot Interactive would be bringing 3 titles to the PlayStation Vita. One of those was the haunting horror adventure puzzle game Whispering Willows, and now we have a date for when the game will make its PlayStation Vita debut. You can get your hands on the gorgeously chilling puzzler on June 30th, and better still, it will be cross-buy with the PlayStation 4 version. If that wasn't appealing enough, both PlayStation versions will have remastered 1080p at 60 frames per second. That seems odd. Anywho, for a limited time, and as a nice added bonus, all purchase will come with a PS4 dynamic theme. In Whispering Willows, you play as Elena Elkhorn, who searches for her missing father, brings her to the haunted Willows mansion. When she arrives, she discovers that she can enter the spirit world to communicate with the mansion's ghostly inhabitants. Whispering Willows was originally released on Ouya before also becoming available on PC, Mac, and Linux in summer 2014. Next up, thanks to an interview done by Tyler Treese of Gosu Tech, we now have some information on twin-stick shooter Tachyon Project. One big way that Tachyon Project stands out from the other twin-stick shooters is this game's story. Yes, this twin-stick shooter will have a plot. Here's what Eduardo Jimenez of Eclipse Games had to say about it. Quote, "To be honest, the story wasn't planned initially. At some point during development, November 2014, the opportunity to work with David Daza, a local comic artist that has worked with big firms like Marvel, Star Wars, and Transformers came up. We talked about what could be done with the game. I told him about this idea I had that the game was happening in a virtual world and that everything were just programs, not real objects like Tron or Matrix. So we started talking about what could be done. Apparently, Eclipse Games took inspiration from another shmup game called Raptor Call of Shadows, which is one of Jimenez's favorite games of all time. Quote, I thought we could use some of the ideas from the weapons and, to a lesser degree, the enemies too, from that genre and particularly from that game. Missiles, bombs, and the laser are heavily inspired by similar weapons in that game." End quote. Another way that Tachyon Project is different from other shmups is the inclusion of a stealth, which makes up for about 30% of the game. Quote, "We weren't confident enough for that to be our only game mode, but we've used it in a 30% of the game, more or less, and now I even think we could have exploited it a bit more." End quote. Tachyon Project has 2 modes, story mode and challenges, and you'll be able to play multiplayer and challenges up to 4 players. Your health in this game is based on the amount of time you have until death. Touch an enemy, you'll lose time, but if you kill one, then you'll gain some. Quote, "We believe this system helps the player constantly on the verge. You can't stay there doing nothing, you constantly lose health, and killing enemies increases your health. So you're encouraged to shoot to kill, which in stealth levels mean you're uncovered, which adds an obvious element of risk." End quote. PlayStation Vita version of Tachyon Project will be released in 2016. Eclipse Games hopes to have it out by the first quarter, but no promises can be made. And the last bit of news. Another stability update has been issued for the PlayStation Vita, bringing the current firmware version to version 3.52. The newest iteration of the PlayStation Vita's firmware is designated version 3.52 and offers no changelog on install, just like our last update. That said, and as we've talked about with past updates, an update to the 3rd number in the sequence indicates a minor update, and this doesn't seem to be anything different, offering no new features or changes at first glance. Either way, an update means possibility for improved function of the software, so get updating. And that's the news.
All right, we made it through it. Wasn't too bad. A couple of long ones in there, though.
Yeah, there was. Not a lot of news, but it was longer than usual.
Yeah. Well, we're through it now, so
Let's
wake up.
breathe.
Well, all right, let's jump into those talking points. Kyle, what do we got?
All right. Well, as usual, Tyler, we start with announced release games that we're looking forward to from the week. So, what looks good? And we'll go to Liam first because I want to bug him.
Okay. So Y2K sounds pretty interesting. I think I'll be keeping a close eye on that one. I also might help kickstart that Regalia of Men and Monarchs because that also sounded interesting. Also, Samurai Warriors Chronicles 3, I'll definitely be giving that a play because I'm a sucker for the Dynasty Warriors games, so I'll definitely have a look at that. And then the PlayStation Vita firmware 3.52, I like the idea of that game.
Funny.
Yeah. How about you, Tyler?
So yeah, definitely Y2K. That looks very interesting. I've already backed that Regalia game, so hopefully it makes it to its Vita goal. If not, then I will unback it because I won't care to play it on anything else other than the Vita because I'm lame like that. What else? Where did it go? The Final Fantasy game, yeah. World of Final Fantasy, or whatever it's called. That one. I'm so excited for that. I just want it now. I want it now! They need to announce Tokyo Xanadu to come here. Right, Kyle? Of course. Kyle agrees.
Right.
What else? What else? I'm excited for Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. Can't wait for that. And Steins Gate Zero, but I want the first one to get here, so I'm glad that they're already working on another one, so that's good. And yeah. What about you, Kyle?
All right, well, a couple of those look good to me. I just wanted to note you guys were talking about Regalia of Men and Monarchs. I think they're actually about $6,500 away from their Vita stretch goal, so they're closer than was written in that text there. I forgot to update it.
All right.
Shit
That's
happens. Anywho, so close, go back them, and then get it on Vita. So there you go. I'm excited for Game of Thrones if that's actually coming to Vita. I know it was shown, but you know how Sony likes to make mistakes. So I'm waiting for something official that it's actually coming. But I've been holding off and not looking at anything for the PS4 version. So if that's coming to Vita, that's where I'm playing it. Steins Gate Zero, as you said, I gotta play the Steins Gate first. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. I'm with you on Tokyo Xanadu, as I said. Definitely, like every time I see this one, I'm thinking it looks better and better. It's one of those games that it's like, buy me, bring me, do something with me, beg for me, or something. I don't know. It's just like driving me nuts, kind of.
Yeah.
More nuts, but what else? Oh, the Legend of Heroes games. To be honest, I never really paid attention to them before they said we were getting one, but I'm kind of, getting into it now. I'm falling for the hype, I guess, and maybe I'll be looking into that. And what is that game? Oh, Whispering Willows. Anything that's a horror game or, haunting or anything like that, I'm down for. So I'll probably be looking at that a little bit more next week when it comes out.
Good
so, yeah.
man.
There you go. That's what I'm looking at, and that's what's interesting for me. We don't have any more talking points, so it's listener mail time, and I'm kicking it over to Tyler because I don't feel like reading.
All right, so first question. Hello, I'm new to the PlayStation Vita and love it. What games and or accessories are must-haves for the Vita? I have Persona 4 Golden, as I've been a huge Shin Megami Tensei fan for many, many years, and buy almost any version of all the games. So, wait. All the games SP had... Oh, okay. SP had to get Golden version. I also have Child of Light and all the free games from PlayStation Plus. Any hidden gems you can recommend? P.S. You guys are awesome. I'll be getting all my Vita news from the Vita Lounge. And that would be RockyH2O on Twitter via email. Thank you, Rocky. So, Liam, what's a hidden gem?
If he hasn't got Velocity 2X yet, then I strongly suggest you get that. But he did say that he has all the PS Plus games. So I'm going to start off by saying Terraria.
Ooh.
Terraria is definitely worth grabbing because it's very addictive and very fun.
I agree with that one. I know Kyle could care less about that, but if you like building stuff and exploring a world that's always different, definitely check out Terraria. And there's a demo, so you can try it out for free. What else? Did you ask something else? No,
accessories as well.
Oh yeah, any accessories that you use, or you're not an accessory guy?
I use a case, just a neoprene case for my Vita, just to make sure that it stays clean and doesn't get too dusty. And I also use a game card holder as well, so I recommend that if he's going to be taking his Vita out quite often, and he doesn't want to take all of his Vita game cases, then buy a Vita game card holder. They're quite cheap nowadays, and they're just handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of them.
I've got 2 as well.
Yeah, they're just getting crazy. Anyways, Kyle, what about you? Any gems out there?
Nothing I can think of offhand on PlayStation Plus, but there's some hidden-ish gems that I can recommend. Definitely get Hot Shots Golf. A lot of people are like, "Oh, golf," but ask anybody. It's a good game.
Yeah.
As Tyler and I have, talked about a million times. Also, even if you're not into Sword Art Online, get Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. Awesome game, awesome RPG. Tons to do and tons of ways to customize your character and play kind of how you want. So it's a cool game. You should get it. And I kind of feel like I want to recommend Helldivers because everyone should be playing Helldivers.
Yes.
So not PlayStation Plus games, but some games that might be hidden gems to most people.
I don't think he's saying they have to be PlayStation Plus games.
Well, either way, there you go.
Because he says he has all of the games from PlayStation Plus.
See, like I almost took that as any hidden gems from those free games from PlayStation Plus that you recommend that he starts with. Because he's new to the Vita, he hasn't played them all, right?
Well, that's true.
That's how I took it. So
that's true.
It's ambiguous. We could take it either way.
Well,
like Tyler.
Hey. Anyways, there's so many games on the Vita, so let's roll off some here. I always am going to recommend Freedom Wars because I love that game. If you're into Monster Hunter style games, it has a similar vibe, but you can...
And it's on sale?
Yes, it's on sale, and you can fly around with a thorn and take down giant mechanical abductor type things. It's great, especially if you have a couple friends, or if you don't even have friends to play with, you can just hop online and play with some randos. So go do that. Also, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z, that game is so much fun. And that's another one that you can jump in with random people or play by yourself and have a blast in. Also, I would say... Where did it go? Rogue Legacy.
Senran Kagura.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. No. That is a good one too, but I haven't really played enough of it. Kyle would have to talk about that. But anyways, mine, I was going to say, was Rogue Legacy. That game is awesome.
Oh.
I haven't played it in forever, but God, that is a great game.
Many hours.
Yes.
Too many hours.
It is so addicting. Like, it's one of those games where you play for like 10 minutes and then you die and you're like, yeah, I think I can do one more run. And then you're 2 hours in the game and you're like, oh man, I need to go to work in like 10 minutes. Crap. So definitely check that one out. That actually was a free on PlayStation Plus game. So if you haven't tried that one out yet, you need to get that one on your Vita because you should have it. And give it a go. It's great. Also, I would suggest the Danganronpa games. If you're into story-driven games, these games are so twisted. And, oh gosh. Alright, I gotta go. I gotta play some Dangan, guys. See ya.
You jerk, get back.
Alright, after the podcast. That's what I'm doing. Anyways, yeah. So thank you, Rocky H2O, for your question. Next one, Kyle, read it.
You made me read it, you son of a bitch.
You made me read the last
one. Alright. This question is from Jonathan Fogarty via email. I don't know if you've noticed, since E3, the Vita sites that I watched on YouTube have now, in my opinion, sold out.
Dun dun dun.
They are now adding mobile devices to their channel. I know it may be a business decision. What do you guys think about the channels adding mobile iOS and 3DS content to their supposedly PS Vita channels? Your channel is the only one I trust now. You don't plan on adding mobile and 3DS content to your great channel, do you? Long live the Vita.
Whoa.
Whoa. Wow.
Let's unpack that. So, I'm going to go towards the last question. Our channel having that kind of stuff on it, 3DS and mobile stuff. Nope. Never. We are a Vita channel. Vita is the only thing you're going to see. So enjoy that.
We haven't even discussed adding anything extra to the site or the channel because we're solely a Vita dedicated website and podcast and YouTube channel. So we're just going to stay that way for as long as the Vita still gives us games and still gives us news.
Exactly. Also, there's also my channel, you know. You don't trust my channel? I see how it is.
Tyler only does Vita games because he's Mr. PS Vita Reviews. It's in the name, and he's not going to change that.
Right. So, well, all right. Kyle, do you want to add anything to that? I guess we didn't answer like what we think about channels doing that. Like, what do we think of other people doing these types of things?
What do I think about other people doing these type of things? Well, if you've ever heard me talk about this kind of thing, you know, I'm not a fan of people running away with bullshit. Let's call it that. So, a lot of people get caught up in what sites that have no idea what the fuck is going on post, and that kind of leads to things like this. The whole legacy console bullshit, you know, the fact that, you know, Vita was absent from E3 like every other year. You know, those kind of things drive ridiculousness like this from, you know, people who think they're in the know and aren't. So if you follow the Vita Lounge, you know we're in the know, and we know that the Vita isn't going anywhere. And we know that it's actually ramping up, kind of, and there's a lot of content coming, and we still have a lot to post all the time, and there's no reason to do that. A lot of other channels seem to think that, you know, there's not enough to post. Well, you guys aren't covering it all because we're having problems keeping up, and we have a staff of 10 people. So yeah, I just think that people are jumping the gun and kind of listening to people who don't have any idea what is actually going on, and I don't know, basing their decisions on stupid things. Yeah. So that's what I think of that. Yeah, we're not going to be changing. We've, contrary to popular opinion, we actually have discussed other stuff. And yeah, we do the Vita too well, and we don't want to contaminate that by dipping our toes into something else. So we'll just keep at Vita and just do it better than, you know, anyone else can.
Perfect. Well said.
There you go.
I don't think I can say it any better. So there you go. We're not changing. Vita. You said it at the end. Long live the Vita. So
long live the Vita Lounge.
Yeah. So thank you, Jonathan, for your question. Let's get into the next one. So, Liam, take it away.
Okay, so Alakai Lester, aka at @SlippersPounce on Twitter, asks, how do you feel about the increase of physical English sub-games from Asia?
I feel real good.
Well, we recently got Morrow Chronicles and we got Sword Art Lost Song. Even though Sword Art's actually getting localized, I don't think Morrow Chronicles ever will. So, you know, it's a good thing that we will actually still get to play these games in English to some extent. And I wish they'd just do it with a few more games.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I don't see how it could be a bad thing. So,
it just means we get more games to play.
Yeah. And I don't have to struggle to try to learn Japanese, so
yeah,
it's a win-win.
Basically.
Kyle, you speak somewhat.
I'm over here rubbing my beard, just
okay.
thinking.
You have a beard?
And a slight beard,
Okay.
And I'm just thinking, you know, I don't really think there is that much of an increase. I think maybe people are just perceiving an increase because they're expanding their minds beyond their own regions.
That was some Zen shit right there.
Because other games, as bad as it is, there was an Asian version of Hollow Fragment, but we got Hollow Fragment, so what does that matter? There is an Asian version of Lost Song, but we're getting Lost Song, so what does that matter? You say no Moero Chronicle, I say probably Moero Chronicle because we got Monster Monpiece.
Oh.
You know, there's a lot of things going on, and I think that it's not as much of a there is an increase in physical English sub games from Asia, as there is a lot of people talking about English sub games from Asia because they know we're going to get them in 5 months. So I don't know. I think that might be the deal. But maybe that's just me.
Well, regardless, you feel happy about it, right?
Well, of course, if they have an English sub, to work off, even if it's shit, the hope would be that somebody from over here in the West would step in and do a little editing and then give us a sweet-ass game.
Right.
Just saying.
English is a good sign of a game coming over here.
Indeed.
So, all right. Thank you for your question. And we did get one more on Twitter. So I'll read that real quick. I gotta find it. And where did
It's actually
go?
on the page, Tyler.
How did you
refresh, buddy?
I don't refresh anything.
Tyler doesn't refresh ever. He has never taken a shower in his entire life.
I've always wondered what that smell was. Anyways.
Read dirty. He just rubs dirt on it.
Let's get into this question before we get any more revealing.
Dirty?
Yeah. So, Crazy Bon 3 at HeelBZ33 asks, what happened to that big fest game on PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4, the one published by Sony? It's in the music and rhythm genre. Kind of what happened? What did you do with it?
Hasn't come out yet.
Well, what did you do with it?
I told him not to release it because I heard Tyler wanted it. So if you want to blame somebody, you can actually blame Tyler because he drove me to madness, and that made me tell them no.
That's messed up. Why would you tell them that?
So, yeah. It's all Tyler's fault.
Well, in all seriousness, we really don't know, but it's supposed to be coming. So,
I'm pretty sure it recently got rated by the PEGI. So, it can't be too far away now.
The PGI? The Professional Golfing Institute?
PEGI.
Oh.
The European
I think
rating.
it's PGA, Tyler. I think you're a little off there.
I know. I was trying to put two and two together. It didn't make sense. Well.
Yeah, it recently got rated over here in Europe, so I don't think it'll be that far away.
Right. And wasn't it, I think it was originally supposed to just be a Vita game, so them realizing that they need to bring it, well, they don't need to, they just are pathetic and don't want to market something. They had to bring it to the PS3 and the PS4, it has delayed it by quite a bit, so I'm sure we'll get it very soon. I don't see why we would never get it, so it looks like a fun game, and seemed like it was pretty far along, so anytime now, anytime.
Yeah, it was mostly talked about middle of last year, like around this time last year, so I could see it coming out anytime.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, just look out for it soon, I would assume. But you never know. Sony's crazy. They're weird.
Considering it was revealed at Gamescom 2012, you'd think it would be near enough there. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, alright. Maybe they've had some big problems over there.
Yeah. Big problems over a big fest.
Yeah. Although, yeah, anyways.
So funny.
Alright, well, let's move on to the next thing we got here. And Liam's here, so that means we can do Guess That Game again.
Woo!
How exciting. So let's refresh.
Time for Liam to lose.
Let's refresh people's memories. So, Guess That Game is where I read an ESRB rating description of Vita games, and it is Kyle's and Liam's job to guess that game. There's 3 games here. The first person to get 2 of the 3 games right is the winner. Kyle, you have 4 points. Liam, you have 1 point.
Oh.
Don't worry, Liam, you get this one. If you win this, you're only 2 behind.
Yeah, but I was 2 behind it this time last week, and so...
Don't think about that. Think of the cup half full, not half empty.
Okay.
Alright, well, don't get this wrong. Let's get right into it. First game. This is a pet care simulation game in which players care for puppies and explore various environments for adventure.
Vita
PlayStation Vita
Pets.
Pets.
Oh man, that was too close to call.
I'm pretty sure the name is actually Vita Pets, not PlayStation Vita Pets.
Well, you both are wrong because that's not the name at all. I'm just okay. Here we go. I gotta decide. I'm the judge here. I'm gonna give it to Liam. He's behind.
Woo!
Alright.
The game is called PlayStation Pets, by the way.
PlayStation Pets.
All right. So Liam's up 1. Next game. This is an action-adventure game based on the characters and events.
Lego Jurassic World.
Yep, Liam wins.
Yeah!
How the hell did you guess that from that much information?
I was just thinking.
Liam, are you sitting on the
I had
ESRB page?
I heard him say adventure game based on, and I quickly thought, wait, what's come out recently? Jurassic World.
That's a smart brain, Liam. All right,
Yes,
Kyle.
It's on
That
fire
doesn't
today.
make any sense, but okay, sure.
Don't
We'll
be
give
so-
him this one. We'll give him this one.
All right. Well, there you go, Liam. You're on the board again. With you now got 2. It is now 4-2. Things are getting heated up here in Guess That Game. Well, all right. Awesome. Let's go to the next segment, and that would be Check This Out. Liam, you won. Guess That Game. Now you get to decide what we should check out.
Okay, so this is one that mainly applies to my European brothers and sisters. And it's actually 2 this week. The Ratchet and Clank trilogy and the Sly Cooper trilogy are both really cheap. You can buy them for around £12. You can buy them both for about £12. So that's 6 games for £12. So you can't really go wrong. They're both all 6 of them work really well on the Vita. So yeah, you might as well go pick that up if you haven't got them already. Well, they're nice and cheap. They're also cross-buy with the PlayStation 3 versions as well. So heck, you're getting 12 games for £12.
Jeez. Yeah, I've played the Sly Cooper games, but not the Ratchet and Clank ones. I've been meaning to get that, but I think I want to pick it up physically, and I'm pretty sure you guys are the only ones that have it physical, right?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'd
but
have to
they're
import it.
all 3 games on the card, and you don't get a code. So you know
Really?
you can still get it physical. Yep.
I might have to do that then. All right. I don't have the money right now. Anyways, there we go. So let's jump into the next one. Do we have any threads, Kyle? It doesn't seem like we do.
I did not find any, and you guys did not help. So no.
Ooh, look at that. That was a low blow right there. Well, all right.
But
There's always tons of stuff on the threads. Maybe there's something old, something new. Maybe you should go say hello to someone that's new to the forum. Go check out the introduction thread. Say hello to the newbies. Fine.
Okay.
Don't say hello. Jeez.
Hey, newbies.
Every once in a while I pop on there to say hi to people, so feel free to jump in there and say something as well. So yeah, that is the Vita Cast episode 81. Lots of stuff going on. Tons of games to play. Things on sale. Fun stuff brewing here. Let's get out of here, guys.
Yep, let's get out of here. Let's mosey.
away from Liam.
Kyle's still sour about losing that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, all right. Let's do that. Let's get out of here. So, you can find everything that we talked about on the VitaLounge.net. If you would like to send in your listener mail comments, contact us at mediaservices@thevitalounge.net. Also, you can... Kyle, did you mess all this stuff? You switched the order of this stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, I figured you'd actually look at it so that it, made sense. You can contact us and then, you go through it. But no, you're like, I'll just start with, and then I'll look. Maybe I'll look after. So
Well,
yeah, that's what happened.
All right.
Fucked it all up, Tyler.
That's how it is. I've got a rhythm going here that I do every episode. And you're like,
I understand that, but your rhythm is kind of fucked up. So I was trying to fix your rhythm by fixing the list.
Fine.
And then I figured he probably doesn't even look at the list, and then you have to look at the list, and now that's what happens.
All right, I'll read it. This is Kyle's list. Support the site and get physical copies of the magazine via Patreon.
I said read it, don't play a robot. I'm a cyborg, and do you hear me talking like that? No.
So I'm doing it wrong.
What are you, like
I was reading
Microsoft
it.
Word 95?
I was reading the outro. Was I not?
Sort of.
Well, whatever.
That's like if I screamed the outro and I was like, oh, I was reading it. Yeah, but you were reading it properly. Now where are you chatting?
Who defines proper?
I do.
Define it.
What I say.
Okay. That doesn't define anything.
Get to work.
Well, all right. This is getting derailed quickly. So, as I was reading in robot form, you can support the site and get physical copies of the magazine. If you decide to support us, go to patreon.com/the Vita Lounge, and that is where, like I said, you can support us. You can get a physical copy of the magazine. And didn't the second one already ship?
Yes, it did, yeah.
So you would now be getting into the third issue, so feel free to do that and get your hands on those physical copies or digital copies, whichever one you prefer. We are also all on Twitter at thevitalounge.net. I'm at Mr. PSVita Reviews. Kyle is at Teflon Tactics. Liam is at Liam Hangover. We're also on Facebook. Just search the Vita Lounge. We are on YouTube, youtube.com/loungeplay. We post up lounge plays. We post up games that are coming out soon. So the previews for each month, Kyle works on those. So soon he will probably be putting together July, right, Kyle? Right?
Indeed.
So yeah, look out for that pretty soon. I also post up the podcast. So if that's your listening format, look out for it there. Subscribe to that channel and keep up to date with some Vita videos. That will always be Vita videos. Anyways, the podcast is available on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, YouTube, and via the direct download on the site. So feel free to subscribe to those formats and let us know how we're doing. Comment and rate us. And that's it. That's all you got to do. And we listen and have fun. So yeah, there you go. Episode 81 of the Vita Cast. We're out of here.
Senran Kagura.